On a scale 1 to 10, Fabregas is 5, De Bruyne 9, assist. So we are looking at...
What did you just say?
Debate Arena Sports Edition is recorded at the premises of Big League Sports and Games Lounge. Locate Big Leagues at Osu for a wonderful sports bar experience. Debate Arena Sports Edition is sponsored by Game Pack Games. Head on to their website www.gamepackgames.com and play for some big wins. Game Pack Games, more moolah, more power.
Bro, it's you again.
Yeah, you're annoying me. The last argument you had wasn't good. I know, it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's nice here.
Pep Guardiola's Premier League legacy supersedes that of Jose Mourinho and Arsene Wenger. Do you agree or disagree?
Why do you agree?
I think Pep Guardiola has brought, first of all, an identity to the Premier League. Yes, I may argue, or someone may argue, Jose Mourinho redefined the Premier League in a certain era, but the dominance of Pep Guardiola supersedes all, and even for Wenger. I think beyond the trophies he's won, and he's won more than Jose Mourinho, he's won more than Arsene Wenger. It's about the type of football he's brought into the Premier League. It's a DNA, it's a style, the identity, it's the uniqueness of the style. And you look at the current Premier League, and every single club wants to imitate Pep Guardiola. It's quite evident. Even Burnley, who under some Dutch at a certain point in time, were very different, orthodox, the old style. Even them now have company who thrives in the tiki-taka system or the Pep Guardiola style, like many may want to. So yes, he's the man, the myth, the god.
I disagree because using your own argument, I mean, if you want to talk about being revolutionary, you have all these managers listed. Pep, revolutionary in his own way. We have Alex Ferguson, same. When he came into the Premier League, he came up with his own style of play, unique. Jose Mourinho did same. Even Wenger, when he came to the Premier League, his style of football, we've all known it to be that way, and that's why Arsenal are celebrated for what they are. All these managers have been unique. Klopp came in, same. And you speak about Burnley now, about who manages Burnley now. It's company went under, who else? Pep Guardiola. So definitely, the things that you pick up, the attributes, the learning, things in general that you pick up philosophy-wise will be skewed towards Pep. But why I think it's different is because if you look at the achievements till now, we all know who has the most. It still remains with Ferguson. But when you understand how eras change, we are in that era of Pep Guardiola. If he's able to meet the longevity of Alex Ferguson, then we can start speaking about if he's overtaking or now tops the table. For me till now, he still has that longevity side.
The two of us, we deal with something. We deal with numbers, right?
Okay.
So if you're looking at the numbers when it comes to the frequency in which Pep Guardiola has won the Premier League, then you compare it to Sir Alex Ferguson, we can equally project that given the numbers he's raking in now, in the same duration, in the same time frame, Pep Guardiola will be greater. Do you agree to that?
I disagree because if you are making that argument, what's the longevity of Pep? We do not know that. We can't say...
But we are putting it in a mathematical context.
Even if it's mathematical, you need to have an end. If I am projecting you, I'm projecting to 2050. That is an end.
So let's say...
but let's focus on the argument.
Let's say like K is a constant. Ferguson did 21 years in the Premier League or maybe more. And Pep Guardiola is doing the same number of years.
No, but we do not know that because even till now, Pep gives hints of, oh, I may move soon. And if you understand
so
Pep Guardiola,
I'm putting it in the context of K is a constant.
It can't be a constant.
In this case, it could be because if I'm looking at the first maybe Pep Guardiola 6 years in the Premier League, and you look at the number of titles he's won 5 in the 6 years that he's been won 4 in the 6 years that he's been in the Premier League. And then you're looking at Ferguson in the same frame. And I'm projecting that, well, if K is a constant and all the parameters remain the same for, say, Alex Ferguson, then Pep Guardiola will be greater. And it won't even take him the 21 years that Pep got. All he needs is about 15 of those 21 years, and he will surpass him.
Let's do the same for Mourinho with Chelsea. Let's do the same.
Mourinho came back into the Premier League. So all those factors will come in.
No, but I'm saying, let's do same. Let's say Mourinho had stayed with Chelsea all through those years. He wasn't sacked. He didn't leave his role. He didn't move to bigger clubs. Let's say it's the same.
So Jose
also make the same argument.
Jose didn't give himself the benefit of the doubt.
No,
he was sacked at a certain point in time because he was performing so badly.
But also at a certain point in time, he left for a bigger role.
So he left Chelsea because he was sacked. Jose left Chelsea because he was sacked.
Okay.
Jose didn't leave Chelsea because he wanted to leave Chelsea. He loved Chelsea. He wanted to stay at Chelsea. But he left because the performances were so bad and Roman didn't have the nerve to keep him at the club. What Pep Guardiola has brought into this Manchester City is he has the time. He's bought the time. It's not because the owners of the club have invested the time. He has bought the time because of his identity, because of his style, because he's winning. And he'll stay for long. And given the like we stated, K as a constant, he will be greater, and in my books, greater than Pep.
Look at all the teams that Pep has managed. Barcelona, was he sacked?
No.
He went to Bayern, was he sacked?
No.
He came to Man City.
So that is a point where we can argue. That is a point where we can argue
the longevity fact that it cannot be K and K cannot be constant in this case, because longevity is one of the means to which you would guarantee success.
So Pep has stayed.
And if you want to understand where we are right now, these managers, in fact, of one of our generation, you need to understand that people easily move for better situations. Pep has won almost everything with Barcelona. He still moved. He's won almost everything.
In regards to the better situations.
Let me learn.
Okay.
He's won almost everything with Man City. He's still going to move at the end of the day if he wants a bigger challenge. And that is something with our generation. So that's what I'm saying. You can't have longevity as a constant. Anyways, we disagree and we agree. This is just something we have to understand.
Pep is the greatest.
He's the greatest for you.
Sir Alex Ferguson would have struggled to dominate the league in this era. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
I agree.
Tell me why.
I think I started the last one.
Yes, still tell me why.
Okay. So earlier we were talking about identity, the style, the uniqueness, the traits that he's brought into the Premier League. And it has transcended beyond the Premier League. It's all about the world. Everyone in this current world wants to build from the back. Everyone wants a goalkeeper who passes from the back. Ederson, Alisson, Kepa. I understand that maybe you may argue that the Spanish system trained, but when you look at the popularization of systems, Pep has indeed mastered and popularized the way he wants to play, and the whole world wants it. Simple.
I disagree completely based on the points you just mentioned, because these things that you're talking about have existed in the past. These philosophies have been there. Even Pep Guardiola claims his philosophy from somewhere. The team he coached from the start of his career claimed the particular philosophy. So it's been there. But what we are trying to understand is, if Sir Alex Ferguson was here, would he still be as dominant? Would he still be able to achieve certain things that he's achieved? For me, yes. It's not going to change, because a challenge is a challenge. And if you look at the experience of such managers, let's look at Ancelotti. Ancelotti has been there for how many years? He's been under the eras of, what's his name? Ferguson. He still won trophies. He's still winning trophies. He's still going to win trophies. But at the end of the day, what we are looking at is, can they still achieve if they are put in this generation? And for me, it's still achievable. Because if you look at, and this brings me to a very good point. Each manager comes in with a different backroom staff every time they move to a new club. Sometimes they may maintain certain people that they feel are key to whatever the base or the basis of their system is. But at the end of the day, they try to add people who are innovative, critical thinkers, people that can help shape the game that they want to, or the philosophy that they are trying to implement. And for me, that is great. At the end of the day, it's a team, and the team makes the backroom staff. And if you understand that, the coaching itself is not mainly focused on the main head coach, but the main head coach carries the philosophy. So at the end of the day, it's a teamwork something. And if you have such a backroom staff, which you can innovate, you can change over time, every era you go to, there's a chance that you can succeed.
Pep Guardiola, won consecutive Premier League titles. I know Ferguson has done too.
Yeah.
So let's bring Ferguson in the context of facing Pep Guardiola head on in competitions. Who's won more? It's Pep Guardiola.
How many times have they faced each other?
In the Champions League.
How many times have
The final is a good scenario.
No, how many times?
I'm saying the final is a good scenario because as dominant as Pep Guardiola's side was, and given the fact that we look at Pep Guardiola surpassing teams with consistency. And you notice that any new breed of manager who has come into the Premier League, it took Ferguson time to adapt.
Every coach comes to adapt. Even Pep Guardiola's first season, he lost to teams 4-0, 5-0.
So after adapting, how dominant has Pep Guardiola been to Ferguson?
That's what I'm saying. The adaptation that you're talking about, each manager can use the same points. Klopp came in, he adapted, he won the Premier League. Once. But
how many has Pep Guardiola won in the frame?
No, but you still speak of adaptation.
So I'm saying, yes, Pep Guardiola has adapted, but his adaptation has been phenomenal because of the consistency and the manner in which he wins the Premier League titles.
But here's the question where we are talking about, will he be able to still succeed? If we're talking about Ferguson.
In the context of having Pep Guardiola in a similar league or in the same league, no way.
Look, you need to understand that each and every manager is different. Pep went to the German league and was able to achieve something. But one thing he was missing was what? The Champions League. Teams are winning the Champions League. Weren't they? Even under the same Pep Guardiola, he just won his first Champions League. Chelsea won Champions League recently under a different manager. So as for the trophies and being dominant, they're different. But things are going to change.
Again, love to disagree.
Yeah.
Drogba had a better Premier League career than Wayne Rooney. Do you agree or disagree?
Let me smile at you.
Let me tell you something. Didier Drogba, as great as he is not as complete of a forward as Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney has more Premier League games, more goals than Didier Drogba. But their goal per game ratio is close. But there's one thing that Drogba doesn't have in a close ratio to Wayne Rooney, and that is having an all-round play where he can be a playmaker, he can create chances, he can assist. That's something that is unique to Wayne Rooney as a complete forward. If you count the number of complete forwards that we've had in the Premier League, I can say, so we could talk about Harry Kane, Wayne Rooney, end of list for me. Best, these two. And Wayne Rooney was such a player that as he was growing old, he wasn't growing old in the sense he couldn't get the job done anymore as a forward, but he understood where his energy was and where his level of play was. And the mind was very powerful enough for him to draw back into a playmaking role. If you look at him at Everton, look at him at United, there's no Premier League player that has been able to do what Wayne Rooney has been able to do. Maybe yes, Harry Kane. And that's why Harry Kane is the only player to come close to Alan Shearer. The player that was closest was Wayne Rooney.
I need my striker to score goals.
And that's what Wayne Rooney did for you. You need your striker to be able to play in
simple question, did he ever
systems.
win the Golden Boots? He didn't score enough goals.
But he has more goals than Didier Drogba.
He didn't in the seasons where you needed Rooney to bang in 30 goals, 20
When Rooney
goals.
has been influential
So let me make my point.
every competition for Manchester United.
Yes, it's influential.
And Everton.
So you're looking at a Ferguson side that was dominant, and it wasn't Rooney who was the center of attraction. For Chelsea, Drogba was the man banging in the goals. He was the one winning the top scorer awards in the Premier League.
You know, there's never been a season where Rooney has fallen as low as 5 or 6 goals in the season.
So yes.
No, but do you understand
so
that?
with the Ferguson system, it shields players. And if I'm talking about Rooney and Drogba in the context of strikers,
But you're talking about just Ferguson. But there were other managers.
I'm saying yes, there were other managers, and it
Yes.
was for Manchester United. The other managers made Rooney's style even less popular. It was
What? Less popular in the sense he was assisting more.
less
He was
popular in the
playmaking
sense.
more.
Okay, so you're putting it. Okay,
As I said, a complete forward.
So
Drogba
complete.
is not more
So
of a
you want a
forward.
complete forward.
Yes, in the Premier League.
I need my striker to score goals.
But
Drogba
he's-
is that guy.
Rooney still scored goals.
He
Even when-
never outscored Drogba in the season. No, let me rephrase the sentence before
Rephrase it.
they cook me.
You will be
Before they cook me. I'm saying Drogba was that guy who got Chelsea the goals, and it wasn't about
So Rooney didn't get goals for United.
He got goals, but you're looking at
goals, impactful goals.
Yes, he scored a few goals.
A few.
You're talking about Drogba in the context of
look. No
Drogba,
matter the player that comes,
if you're looking at, and it's one of the things that we argue about, and look at Rooney in a frame, a long time playing in the Premier League, more years than Drogba ever played in the Premier League. So if I'm looking at the numbers,
why is that so?
If I'm looking at the numbers and I'm averaging, you see Drogba and Rooney on a par. But when you're looking at other formulas in calculating the averages, then we change. Because there's not only one way of checking averages. It's not only always
What
about
average are you talking about?
I'm talking about looking at the averages in the term of the frame. Say 5 years. Rooney did how many years? 12, 10 years in the Premier League. How many years did Drogba do? 6, 7, 8 seasons. So you're looking at 4 years difference, and then the duration of the games they've played. So yes, he played longer, giving him, and he played for Everton when he was at the best, maybe one of the best of his careers before moving to Manchester United, who were at the peak of their careers. So yes, if I'm looking at the averages, Rooney would match Drogba. But if I'm looking at the context of the frame in that particular years, when you're looking at averages, Drogba is far gone.
Kevin De Bruyne is the greatest Premier League midfielder. Do you agree or disagree?
Allow me before we go argue on this one. Challenge.
You need to understand the Premier League midfielders that we've had in history.
Yeah.
We can go on and on and on. Even within the club, we could talk about Yaya Toure as one of the best Premier League midfielders. If you go outside, we can talk about Lampard, we can talk about Gerrard, we can talk about Scholes, we can talk about, name them. We've had exceptional midfielders. But the reason why I feel Kevin De Bruyne is still a dot away from being that guy is and for me, and this is my point, I feel we celebrate such players when their careers are about ending, where we can now look back and say, okay, there was this era where Kevin De Bruyne was unstoppable, okay? And for me, that's the only point missing. It's very close. It's a very close argument where we could say, comparing to some of these greats, yes, he's been able to match some of them. But we are waiting to see at the end of the career, how is it going to look like? Is it just going to be a prime thing, or is it going to be an entire career thing? And for me, that's the only thing missing from De Bruyne.
You're looking at the playmaker, an exceptional player who thinks before the ball comes, someone who can assist with ease. He's that guy.
Do you remember Fabregas?
I do. But
how close is Fabregas to De Bruyne?
On a scale 1 to 10, Fabregas is 5, De Bruyne 9. Assist. So we are looking at...
What did you just say?
Fabregas is 5 on a scale in comparison to Kevin De Bruyne. Fabregas is 5.
Okay.
De Bruyne is 9.
David Silva.
6. Who else? For scores 2. Another name.
Lampard.
Maybe 7. Who else?
Gerrard.
4. In terms of assist.
No, but
playmaking.
No, but assist is not just playmaking.
So the finesse of metrics is goals and assist.
No, but you mentioned
the peak of it.
You mentioned playmaking.
Playmaking.
If I can create chances, it goes. Assists. There are people that create crazy chances. Pogba was one that was creating an absurd number of chances per game. But at the end of the day, if you're going to use assists to judge him, you're going to fall short on a lot of things.
We will appreciate the style that Pogba brings.
But you need to understand that. Yeah. I mean, if you're even looking at Pogba, in terms of people that were finishing his chances compared to De Bruyne, are they on the same level? No. But if you look at playmakers, Pogba is arguably one of the best playmakers that we've seen. He can do it from all positions.
Yeah.
And I agree De Bruyne can do so. So I'm saying that do not base it just on assists.
I'm not basing just on assists.
I mean, you kept focusing on it, and I'm saying
yes. I'm saying it's the finesse of all metrics.
Okay.
Goals, assists, clean sheet.
Okay.
It's a peak of all metrics. I'm saying in context of goalkeepers, clean sheets. In context of defenders, tackles.
You argue your point.
So
let me
yes,
understand where you're coming
for
from.
me, there are other great midfielders, no doubt about it. Some have done phenomenal in the Premier League, but the qualities that Kevin De Bruyne brings to the play on the pitch in the Premier League, no one comes close.
Interesting. But we need to go back to this Rooney Drogba argument because I feel you're missing one particular point. Is Drogba a more complete forward than Rooney? Let me phrase
The question is not.
No,
complete.
I am asking you.
So you are asking me a different question, different from the questions.
What was the question I was asked?
So it's a Premier League career. We are talking about goals.
You're not talking about goals. Premier League career, it covers everything, not just goals. That's what I'm asking you.
Okay.
So do you think Rooney is do you think Drogba is a more complete forward than?
So then you are changing the question.
No, but career.
So yes,
everything,
yes. So if you are talking about career,
in.
then as you look at the duration that Rooney played in, and you look at the impact that Drogba did for Chelsea. It was Chelsea,
so
an underdog, in the.
Who told you Chelsea was an underdog when Drogba was there?
Oh really?
No,
compared to Manchester United, who had won so many Premier League titles before.
Guy, that's not how
it was in the era of Drogba that changed the fate of Chelsea. Drogba was an instrumental part of it. I'm done arguing.
I'm not done. I just want to make this point. I need you to understand that as Drogba went on to his ending years of his career, he struggled to fit in. And that's the reason why it was no surprise that he had to go. The second stint especially. He came back here, it was good. He came back, he had a nice thing, but he couldn't sustain. If you look at Rooney, each and every manager that came after Sir Ferguson still used Rooney because they thought he had something to impact the game with. If you look at the
striking role,
they said career, he didn't define whether striker or which position.
Okay.
So he came to midfield occasionally. He played various parts in midfield as a winger, as an attacker, as a striker. In each and every position he played, he still had an impact. That is what you define as a player who is great. And that's what I need you to understand. Thank you very much.